Welcome to the Trash Media channel. You're watching Trash News. I'm your host, Magdiel Lopez. Roll the intro. So today I decided I'd just bring you some quick news about what's happened over the last few months. It's not good. No. YouTube news. Roll the YouTube news intro. So for YouTube news, Belle Delphine came back. Even more of a thought than ever. Maribel Krasner, after posting weird videos on Pornhub, doing a bunch of thoughty stuff on YouTube, charging $2,500 on Patreon to be her god, and selling her dirty bathwater, disappeared. As fast as all the 13-year-old boys came, she got reduced to atoms. And then she got arrested, and then she disappeared. And she came back with a really weird music video. I might show some clips, I'm not sure. But it's really thoughty. See, the thing is about Belle Delphine is that I think she's really smart as a businesswoman. She's no run-of-the-mill thought, okay? She hasn't even gotten naked. She could pass you outside and you wouldn't even know it's her. And the thing is, she's only come back because there's a demand for her. Because there's always going to be a market for thoughtiness. Why do you think Pornhub and RedTube are so popular? Why there's so much money in that industry? Because there's a demand for it. And people are going to supply. But Belle Delphine supplies when absolutely necessary. And she knows what the masses want. So she just gets all the money, all the rewards. And she's great at her job. Gaming news. The Last of Us 2 came out. It was pretty epic, in my opinion. Spoiler warning, a lot of people hated it because in the game, you saw one of the main characters from the last game get brutally murdered and then had to play as the murderer for 10 straight hours. Not straight, but it's still 10 hours. Joel died, and I think it's completely fair because Joel is not some kind of angelic, super nice guy. He wasn't a hero. He was a very bad person, a very bad guy, turned good guy. During his time as a bad guy, he ran into a lot of people and got into a lot of garbage. So it was clear that eventually that was going to catch up to him. A lot of people don't like it because they're like,
oh, I want my favorite characters to be with me. Oh, this isn't cool. It's not a happy ending.
Shut up. The general masses have this idea. You want your favorite characters to stay with you your entire journey. And you want a happy ending. But The Last of Us 2 does not have a happy ending. It isn't a happy game. The Last of Us 2 tells a magnificent story with heartfelt scenes. Gameplay wise, it's just a first person shooter. There's not much there. It's not bad gameplay. It's just not much or revolutionary. But the story is where it stands out. And I think that what they did with the game is very incredible. And in the zombie apocalypse, it's a really interesting and entertaining story. Not just for the actual story going on, but for the lore. Real news! Actual news this time. Roll the intro!
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Okay, so now we're gonna get into some real news, some trash news. And you may be asking,
What are you talking about?
I want to bring to you the city of Chaz.
Yeah, we're right in the thick of it right now, guys. This is 12th and Pine. We are right across the street from the East Precinct, right on the corner. This is the core of this Chaz zone. Police are pushing right now.
On the 9th of June, an area in Seattle of about 6 blocks became known as Chaz, Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. After various intense and sometimes violent interactions with the police and protesters, the mayor of Seattle, Jenny Durkan, decided to force the police and the police chief out of that precinct. After the police left, it became a bit of a commune and was shortly after rebranded as CHOP. Capitol Hill organized protest. I think that the message people were trying to bring was a very good thing. They were protesting for Black Lives Matter, for LGBT rights, and all that other stuff. You know, it's very progressive. Thing is, a lot of the progressives are very regressive. Now, I'm not going to get into that right now. What I want to do is bring you the city of Chaz. After Chaz, later rebranded CHOP, after CHOP was formed, various protesters and various just general people came to that area to protest. And for a very long time, it was kind of just like a music festival. It was very chill, very relaxed. It was a very enjoyable environment. But on June 20th, Several shootings occurred, I believe 2 of them. After the 2 shootings, Mayor Jenny Durkin decided to announce that he would bring the police back into the precinct. And after that, on June 25th, the various neighborhood residents and businesses decided to sue the city because they let CHOP cause excessive harm. And it wasn't until July 1st, yesterday as of when I'm recording this video, that police finally moved into CHOP and decided to start taking down the wall that they built. They arrested 13 different people in the process. That's the story so far. I would like to get into a bit more details. After CHOP was formed, they decided to do something that the left wing, which is mostly the people who decided to form CHOP, the progressives, they built a wall, something they hated Trump for. They created a border in Seattle, in that precinct, to block off anyone else. They put armed guards around it with military-grade weapons. They started creating farms on their sidewalks because they didn't have any more food. And shortly after, they started making requests to people outside the city to bring in things like vegan meat substitutes, soy products, my testosterone, and a bunch of other things that you would like know dumb soy boys and like vegan cyclists to bring. But anyway, that's really all the thing. And interesting about it is that the left-wing media decided to say it was going swimmingly, and the right-wing media was saying it was going absolutely terrible. I'm just bringing you facts. What I've told you so far is fact. Well, I want to tell you that you can't trust everything on TV. Like I've told you, left-wing was saying it was going super great, it was working, there were protests, it was going wonderfully. And the right-wing was just saying it was going terribly, it was bad, it was just absolutely crushing. These 2 opposing forces were just trying to bang each other, and it's why we can't trust a lot of politics right now. And it's why our country's in such disarray. Nobody's agreeing on anything. Because of that, we're falling apart. Originally, CHOP demanded to represent black voices in Seattle. They also wanted to abolish the police department in Seattle, and they had quite a couple of other demands, but those are like the big 2 that I want to bring to you. Represent black voices, amazing, a great thing. I think there is a lot of inequality in our society, and sometimes it's not really conscious. It's just a judgment that people have in their instinct, or just something that they have because we look different. When really there's not much different about us. A black person goes out in the sun, they get some ashy knees. Maybe a brown person like me, maybe you get a bit of a sunburn if you go out too long, and a white burn is just red the whole time. But there isn't really that much of a difference. Number 2, their second request, abolishing the police department, I kind of disagree with. And I think it's something that most people should disagree with, because you need a law and an order. If you want anything to work, you need order. What they caused was violence. And violence will never stop more violence. Fire will not stop fire. A new flame can burn out an old one, but there's still going to be fire and damage. If you want to combat terrible speech, hate speech, awful just toxicity, the only way to do it is with good speech, positive speech, empowering speech. What a lot of the left wing does and what a lot of the right wing does isn't that. They just fight violence with violence. And this isn't progressive, this isn't conservative, it's just toxic. And I think we need to change this. We need people to start realizing that we don't need to fight each other, just to talk. Talking is probably one of the greatest things the human has developed. Our incredible communication skills has allowed us to advance as a civilization. Hey, so my camera died, but that doesn't matter, because I still want to introduce you to a new little segment I want to introduce, and that's Comment of the Week. Congratulations, I don't freaking know. Your comment is Comment of the Week. I don't know why it's of the week. I'm not making these weekly. They're just every now and again. I don't freaking know, be saying. My man's already had cake before he started. Thanks, you already know I got that beefcake, my dude. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. My camera died, so I just have to do this little outro segment after the fact. Anyway, I hope you have a good day. Keep your chins up, smile always, and be the change.